Good afternoon, everybody. We're back out in the shop today, giving you an update on the welding cart. Sort of retrofitting or dry fitting, if you will, some of the welders and tanks and hoses and lines and everything that's going to go on here, just so I have a better idea of how it's all going to work out, if it's going to match what I had in my head. So far, so good. A few changes I am going to make. I'm going to weld into place down here some of the braces for the tanks for the K size. I'm going to have one out here as well on this one for the future K tank that goes in for the TIG welder, pure argon. That's going to be the cable housing there, if you can see it. I'm actually going to wind up putting a block back here behind all these lines to separate that. I'm going to go ahead and add the addition of a plate here and section this off for the filler rods for the TIG machine. That was a question I always had. That is going to be a definite deal. The drawers, made these for the grinding helmet, the welding helmet, and extra cords. Obviously, as normal, things change. So I will figure that out down the road. I don't know if I'm going to hang them close to each other down here. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I may put partitions and have a cabinet up top here somewhere above this. I don't know. Plasma cutter in the center is for future. That's my plan, to have that in there down the road. But this is an overall picture of what we're looking at so far. I'm going to get busy today, and I'm going to cut in a 1/2 inch or a spacer that goes 3/4 of an inch down the length of here to about 1/2 inch from the back to keep the legs, keep this in. I'm going to raise it up a 1/2 inch to where this comes up underneath the cabinet, the welder cabinet, to keep it from coming off. I'm going to have a plate across the front in front of here and down the side as well, and the back again, to house all that and keep it from tipping off the cart. May incorporate some other bracing around that later. I just we'll have to see. That's something I can always change. Anyway, I'm going to get busy on this today, and we'll get back into putting the bracing around the edges of the corner and the table on the back the other side, and we'll get that done. See you guys in a bit. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I'll try to get you closer in, take a better look at it. I've got this tacked into place right now. It's about a 1/2 inch up from here to the surface. Goes right up underneath that cabinet, so the door still opens freely. There's no rubbing, no catching on that. I'm going to get the plate that goes down the front to the length of the cabinet, and then down the other side. All of that's going to be up in front, probably about 3/4 of an inch or so. I'm going to blend this into that height, so that looks natural or acceptable anyway, and we'll get the rest of this done. But I'm going to finish tack welding. I've got this tacked. I'll finish welding it out when I get the others in place. So we'll get to the rest of that right now. Okay, move you out here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. I'm gonna hit a little welding here. Hopefully you can see all that. pretty good breeze out there and it's affecting my welding, so I'm gonna have to pull everything towards the shop inside so I'm out of the breeze. We'll let that cool down. We'll come back and finish that out. Okay, I'm gonna wipe this down a little bit. Got this lip welded on here. Let me show you that real quick. Got this lip welded on. That's gonna keep my equipment up on the tabletop all the way around. So, and like I said before, the variance for this one being this tall is the door has to open on the MIG welder. So I had to leave this at a 1/2 inch high, and this bumps up against the legs here, front and back, and keeps it from going over the edge. It actually is almost even with the edge here. It butts up against the front. All the controls clear the handles, the other top plate and whatnot. So I'm fixing to wipe all this down. I'm using denatured alcohol, so you can use anything that you want that cleans and evaporates really well. But I'm going to run down and wipe that all down. I've already grinded everything. I've blown it all off. We're getting ready to throw the first cover coat of paint on it. Definitely on the interior. I don't have anything else to weld on that side, so I'm going to get that covered in so it doesn't rust down the road. And then we'll come to the outside and start masking off whatever we're going to mask off, and then paint the rest and swap it out, do whatever, mask over and paint the other. So if we're going to do a two-tone, I haven't decided yet. Anyway, I'm going to get this wiped down and we'll move on to the paint part of it before we wrap this up today. Thanks a lot. We're gonna knock some of this out. Just a quick cover coat. Get all the metal covered. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's gonna be on the inside. Just want to make sure that it's not gonna rust. So I may do a touch up to get any bare spots that might be still metal showing later. But I'm gonna hit this light coat, try to get it as best I can. Well, we got our little spring shower. Came in about 10 minutes ago. And no sooner than I pull the bike in out of the rain, after it's gotten a good drenching, it decides to quit. It's just wet now. All the harm has already been done, but whatever. So, we'll resume painting on this here in a little bit. I gotta give it time to dry anyway. Got a part of it inside like I was gonna do. Get the top done. We'll have to come back and finish up on that. You see where I got started, but I had to stop. So I'm gonna let that completely dry, then tape up where I left off. Come out and come back and do another coat on it, so everything will even out. But that is it so far. Looking much better than day one. So a few things left to do. I've got a few spots left to hit in here, I can see, so I'll get those. Those will get done after this coat dries. I'll come back and tack on some of the rest of the stuff here. We'll blaze a little bit up through this, and we'll come back and finish this out here, and at least get the first primary coat on it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll come back to this in a little bit.